Nostradamus was born Michel de Nostradamus in 1503 and was a French astrologer, physician, and a well-known seer. He is well known for his prophecies, and he studied medicine at the University of Avignon and later at the University of Montpellier, where he earned his medical degree. Nostradamus has been publishing almanacs at that point containing predictions in the mid-16th century, and he gained fame for a lot of his cryptic verses that purportedly told future events. His predictions were written in something called quatrains that covered like a wide range of topics, including wars, natural disasters, political upheavals, famine, royalty, you name it. Nostradamus claimed that his prophetic abilities were rooted in his understanding of astrology and divine inspiration. He really believed that his predictions were serving as a warning to mankind, urging people to repent and change their nasty ways so they can avoid impending doom and disasters. And if you like channels like this, feel free to subscribe. Nostradamus' works, notably his collection of Les Prophecies, continues to fascinate and intrigue people to this day, although many scholars dismiss his prophecies, saying they're just ambiguous and open to interpretation. He passed away in 1566, leaving a legacy behind that continues to spark debate about, the nature of prophecy and the future. As we are aware from the Bible, numerous prophecies were foretold by prophets preceding him. And I definitely can't talk about Nostradamus without mentioning Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon was a prominent American author, speaker, and hypnotherapist. She is known for her work in the field of past life regressions and metaphysics, but she claimed to have developed a technique called the quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT technique, which she uses to help access clients' past lives, memories, and explore higher dimensions or even just their past life self and why they're here and what they're doing here in this current life. Sounds strange, but yes, this woman developed this technique and she's well known in the metaphysical community. Regarding Nostradamus, though, Dolores Cannon reportedly communicated with him through her channeling sessions with some of her clients. Dolores claimed that during some of her channeling sessions, she was able to connect with Nostradamus' spirit of consciousness and ask him questions about his life, work, and different prophecies. One of the things I was intrigued by when I watched all the Dolores Cannon videos was how she would talk about Nostradamus, almost like he didn't really want to be bothered because, she was a woman. And back then in the 16th century, women were not supposed to be talking about stuff like this in the nations. And she almost felt like he was a bit misogynistic. According to Dolores Cannon, she said that Nostradamus was trying to reveal to her a bit of insight into why and what motivated him then into writing these prophecies and the sources of his inspiration, which I found most intriguing. Clearly, anyone would want to know, where is someone getting all this information? Usually prophets will say things like, well, it was given to me by God. Well, it was given to me by this source, like an angel. But where did he get his source? She also goes very deep into why some of those predictions didn't come true. And I won't ruin it for you, but I will say that I'll finish my video and you will understand. Nostradamus went on to experience a surge of popularity in the 70s and the 80s, and I remember because my mother had the books. I think number one was the cultural climate during that time. If you look back at the 70s and 80s, these were periods marked by social and political unrest, including the Cold War and the Vietnam War, and we can't forget the energy crisis. People were anxious about just about everything, the future, everything, right? We wanted reassurance about our lives, and in uncertain times, people have a tendency to look towards things like the Bible. And then I believe media exposure really helped popularize Nostradamus. The rise of television and mass media during the 70s and 80s allowed for a wider dissemination of Nostradamus's prophecies. People were tuning in, they were reading books and articles and discussing some of his predictions, and it became very popular, reaching a broader audience and fueling fascination with his work. And then there was the pop culture references. We have to remember the 70s and 80s, it became a time where they were making parodies of him and putting him on TV shows, movies, making documentaries with, people who would play him in fiction. These references also add to the allure of who was Nostradamus and why was he predicting these horrific things to happen to mankind. And the prophecies he had added to the mystique and captured the public's imagination. There was also alternative belief systems. The 70s and 80s saw a growing interest in alternative spirituality and metaphysical beliefs and concepts. Nostradamus appealed to individuals exploring unconventional belief systems. In America, it was broadly, Christian-based religions, and people were just looking outside the box. And I think that's why you had things like Scientology crop up, is people just wanted something different. They were seeking insight into the mysteries of the universe and the future. It also seems strange to me that most of Nostradamus's prophecies were interpreted to reference historical figures and events, and his connection to famous people of his time and beyond. He was giving us information about people that would play important roles in changing our timeline. These people have the ability to either make us go down one path or down another path. And this is why that book by Dolores Cannon actually makes a lot of sense, because it talks about how mankind has the ability to elevate their consciousness and change their timeline. Fast forward to today, and we have blind Bulgarian mystic Baba Vanga, also known as Vangelia Pandeva Gosterova. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, but she gained fame for her remarkably accurate predictions. She was born in Bulgaria in 1911. Baba Vanga became famous for her extraordinary clairvoyance, despite losing her sight at a young age. She has made over 5,000 predictions, many of which have already come true with remarkable accuracy. Some of her most notable prophecies is like the 9/11 terror attack and Brexit. But according to her visions, Europe might experience an uptick in terror activities, and a significant nation could resort to using deadly biological weapons in attacks or experiments. I don't know which nation would be experimenting with that, but I could take a guess. These predictions feel particularly upsetting given the recent tensions between Israel and Iran. Baba Vanga's forecast for 2024 suggests a scenario where the conflict between Israel and Hamas intensifies, potentially leading into a larger scale confrontation. Baba Vanga's predictions for 2024 painted a grim picture. She foresaw increased terrorist attacks, like I said, and severe economic crisis with global ramifications, dangerous climate events, including radiation surges, and a surge in cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure. These are bleak forecasts, and also, I think, sombering reminders of the fragile balance that we have with any kind of peace worldwide, While these interpretations, though, may differ, the timing of the prophecies aligning with current events is extremely hard to ignore. One of the things that Nostradamus foresaw was the potential abdication of the king. This king right here, King Charles III. And it's kind of one of those things where, I don't know, it seems like history is actually playing out the way Nostradamus predicted in some ways. And I say that because if he foresaw the potential abdication of the king, and with Prince Harry speculated as being the successor, despite his current position as fifth in line to the throne, this prediction coincides with King Charles's ongoing battle for fighting cancer. We don't know what kind of cancer, but having recently undergone a procedure for an enlarged prostate where the cancer was discovered, it would sound like this could probably happen. I mean, if something happens to Prince William, therefore, because it's Prince William, then it's Prince William's children, then Harry. According to Nostradamus, King Charles III would be forced out, paving the way for an unsuspected successor to ascend to the throne following a pattern of upheaval and change foretold by his quatrains centuries ago.